There comes a moment in life when you look in the mirror and realize no one's coming to save you. The pain you feel, the doubts that consume you, the nights you cry silently hoping for change, those are the battles shaping you. And in that moment when you've got nothing left but your will, that's when belief is born. You see, life doesn't care who you are today. It only respects who you decide to become. If you believe you're broken, weak, a victim, then that's all you'll ever be. But if you believe you're unstoppable, destined, carved from pain, and built for greatness, then the world shifts. The universe bends. Doors open that were once sealed shut. Because belief is the seed and action is the water. You don't wait for permission. You create your future with discipline, with purpose, with fire in your soul. Every second you hesitate, someone hungrier is outworking you. So either believe you're here to lead, to dominate, to rise, or stay small, silent, forgotten. But if you dare to believe, really believe, there's no force on earth that can stop you. You become what you believe, so believe like your life depends on it, because it does. Belief is the foundation of identity. Your reality begins in the mind. That simple truth separates those who live a life of power from those who merely exist. Every thought you entertain, every word you say to yourself in silence, every idea you accept as truth about who you are and what you're capable of, it all begins and ends in your mind. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past. You are what you decide to believe about yourself. That's where the battle is won or lost. Before you ever take a step, lift a weight, chase a goal, or fight for a dream, it starts in the private corners of your brain where no one can see. That is your battlefield. If you believe you're weak, unworthy, not enough, then your actions will always align with that. You'll shrink when life challenges you. You'll hide when you're supposed to rise. You'll say, I can't before you ever try. That's the power of belief. When it's broken, you become your own jailer, living inside invisible walls built from fear and doubt. And no one else can see them. No one else can break them down for you. That job is yours because your mind will never outperform your identity. And your identity is shaped by what you truly believe. Some people grow up being told they'll never be great. They carry those words like chains into adulthood. Others get betrayed, laughed at, doubted, and instead of turning that pain into fire, they let it rot into insecurity. They start seeing the world as a place where they're meant to be small. But what if, just what if, you stop letting outside voices become your inner narrative? What if you started rewriting your story, one brutal, honest belief at a time? What if you began to say, I am powerful, and actually believed it? Not because someone gave you permission, but because you decided to. You see, your mind doesn't care if a belief is good or bad, strong or weak. It just obeys. It reinforces whatever you plant. If you keep feeding it doubt, it will grow doubt. If you feed it fire, courage, and certainty, it will grow those too. You don't need outside validation. You don't need approval. You don't need someone to tell you you're worthy. You need belief, real belief. And not the soft kind that only shows up when it's easy, but the unshakable kind that stands tall when everything around you falls apart. That belief is forged in silence, in discipline, in loneliness, in rejection, and in relentless commitment to your vision. Every champion, every leader, every person who changed the world had to first believe they could. That belief came before the talent, before the applause, before the recognition. It came when nobody was watching. They had to wake up and say, I am more, even when everything said they were less. That is the mindset that builds unstoppable humans, not because they had better luck, but because they had stronger belief. You want change? Start with your thoughts. Speak power into yourself, not pity. Speak identity, not excuses. Stop calling yourself broken and start calling yourself rebuilding. Stop saying you're lost and start saying you're searching. Because even your words are creating identity moment by moment. Your brain listens. Your soul listens. And the universe, whether you believe in fate, God, energy, or just raw cause and effect, it listens too. Belief is the signal. It's what draws opportunity. And it's also what chases it away. You'll never outperform the limits you set inside your own head. So if your belief system is weak, you will be weak. If your belief system is aggressive, ambitious, relentless, so will you be. And it's not about lying to yourself or pretending you're something you're not. It's about deciding who the hell you want to be and becoming that with everything you've got. It's about choosing your identity on purpose, saying, this is who I am now, and then proving it in the way you move, speak, think, and live. That's power. That's transformation. You're not stuck because of your past. You're stuck because of your belief about your past. You're not failing because life is hard. You're failing because your beliefs tell you that you can't overcome it. Flip the script. Change the story. You don't have to be the person you were yesterday. You can rise, but only if you believe you can. And once you start believing, your identity shifts. You start acting like the person you were always meant to be. You make decisions based on power, not fear. You take responsibility instead of making excuses. You move like a force, not a victim. Belief isn't magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's the fuel that drives everything you do. Without it, you're walking through life blindfolded. With it, you're dangerous, unstoppable, alive. So build it, feed it, defend it, because nothing about you will change until your belief does. You become what you believe. That's the law. And the most terrifying and beautiful part is you get to choose what you believe. Right now, right here. No one's stopping you. No one can. Pain and adversity are tools, not curses, to awaken belief. Most people run from pain. They numb it, avoid it, hide from it, pretend it doesn't exist. They see adversity as punishment, as unfair, as something that holds them back. But that mindset is the reason so many people stay exactly where they are. Weak, passive, blaming the world for their suffering instead of realizing what that suffering is trying to build inside them. Pain is not here to break you. It's here to shape you. Every scar, every betrayal, every failure is a message, not that you're unworthy, but that something greater is being forged in you. And if you stop running from it and start listening, you'll see that pain isn't your enemy. It's your awakening. Or think back to your darkest moments, the ones where you felt completely broken, lost, like the world was collapsing on top of you. Now ask yourself, what kind of person did that pain require you to become? Maybe it forced you to toughen up, to stop relying on others, to fight for your life, to dig deep and find strength you didn't know existed. That's not weakness. That's growth. That's transformation. And that transformation doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in chaos. It happens when your back is against the wall, when no one is coming to save you, and you're left with only one choice: evolve or stay broken. Adversity introduces you to yourself. It strips away the fake identities, the masks, the ego, the noise. When everything falls apart, you get to meet the raw, unfiltered version of who you really are. And for many people, it's a wake-up call. Because in that emptiness, in that crushing silence, you begin to see that strength was never about appearance or words. It's about what survives the storm. It's about what's left when the world takes everything from you. Pain is the fire that purifies. It doesn't burn you for no reason. It burns away the lies, the excuses, the softness, the victimhood. It forces you to confront reality and either rise through it or be buried by it. You want to build belief in yourself? Go through something. Face it head on. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, for everything to feel good, for things to be fair. Life is never going to hand you belief. It gives you adversity, and what you do with it is what builds that belief brick by brick. When you survive something hard, when you push through the days you didn't think you could, when you keep going after losing everything, that's where belief is born. Not in books, not in motivational speeches, not in therapy sessions, but in the gritty, lonely hours of fighting battles no one else can see. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear: your pain is your advantage. While others are coasting, living soft, empty lives, you've been given something they haven't: the opportunity to become forged in fire. That's what gives you your edge. That's what gives you authenticity. You know what suffering feels like. Or you know what it's like to be on the ground, gasping for air with nothing left. That means when you rise, you're rising with power. Real power. Power that doesn't shake when life hits again because you've already been hit and you're still standing. Adversity gives you clarity. It makes your priorities real. When you're in pain, the illusions fade. You stop wasting time on fake people, fake goals, fake comfort. You start valuing strength, truth, resilience. You realize that if you want to build something worth living for, whether it's your body, your business, your legacy, it's going to cost you something. And that cost is pain, not temporary discomfort, real pain. The kind that tests you mentally, physically, emotionally, and the moment you stop seeing it as punishment and start using it as a tool, that's when everything changes. Pain is the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't lie. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't sugarcoat your flaws. It shows you exactly where you're weak, exactly where your limits are. And that's a gift, because once you know where you're weak, you know where to grow. Adversity points the way. It says, fix this, strengthen that, get harder here. Stop being soft there. But if you keep resisting it, if you keep asking, why me, instead of asking, what's this trying to teach me, then you'll never grow. You'll keep repeating the same pain over and over until you learn the lesson. Your belief system doesn't grow in comfort. It doesn't grow when life is easy. It grows when everything inside you says, give up, and you answer back, not today. It grows when your plans fall apart and you build new ones. It grows when people betray you, and instead of folding, you rise harder. Every hit you take is an opportunity to rise stronger. Every moment of adversity is a chance to prove to yourself what you really believe. And belief earned through pain is unshakable. It's not hype. It's not noise. It's a deep, immovable confidence that says, I've been through hell and I'm still here. You want to become powerful? Stop resenting your pain. Start owning it. Start using it. Let it drive you. Let it remind you of what you're capable of. Let it push you to build something unbreakable. Life is never going to get easier, but you can get stronger. And the more you face, the more you endure, the more you grow into someone who no longer fears the fire, because you are the fire. So remember this. Adversity is not your enemy. Pain is not your curse. These are the tools life gives to those it wants to sharpen, to those it's calling to lead, to fight, to conquer. Let your pain awaken your belief. Let it build you into someone you don't even recognize, someone unstoppable, or someone undeniable. Because the ones who believe the deepest are the ones who've walked through the flames and came out forged, not fragile. You are not broken. You are becoming. Action without belief is hollow. Belief without action is wasted. These two forces, belief and action, are the twin engines that drive transformation. You can't have one without the other and expect results. If you act without belief, you're just moving through the motions. You can train, you can study, you can grind every day. But if deep down you don't believe you're capable, worthy, or meant to win, then your actions are shallow. They carry no conviction, no fire, no soul. You're showing up physically, but mentally and emotionally, you've already surrendered. That kind of action doesn't change your life. It just exhausts you, makes you bitter, makes you wonder why nothing works. And it's because your mind and body are out of alignment. You're doing the right things, but with the wrong energy. On the other side, belief without action is just fantasy. It's empty motivation. It's a nice feeling that never materializes into anything real. You can sit there and say, I believe in myself all day long, but if you're not proving that belief through what you do, then it's useless. The world doesn't reward thoughts. It rewards execution. You don't get stronger by thinking about lifting weights. You don't build a business by believing in the dream, but never working on it. You don't create a legacy just by visualizing success. That belief has to move. It has to become discipline. It has to show up in how you attack your day, how you respond to setbacks, how you keep going when it gets boring, painful, or unclear. There are people who work hard every single day, but they never break through. Why? Because deep inside, they're doing it from fear, not belief. They're afraid to fail, afraid to be forgotten, afraid of looking weak. So they grind as a way to run from those fears, but they don't truly believe they're meant to succeed. And that's why their results are shallow. They burn out. They self-sabotage. They give up the moment things don't go their way. That's what happens when belief isn't in the driver's seat. Your effort becomes frantic, reactive, empty. It's not about how much you do. It's about who you are while you're doing it. That's what gives action its power. And then there are others who believe so deeply in their potential, but they never take the steps to prove it. They talk about their goals like they're inevitable. They act like they're destined for greatness, but they never build the habits, never put in the hours, never show up consistently. They think belief alone is enough, like the universe will just hand them success because they feel inspired. That's not belief, that's delusion. Real belief demands action. It pulls you out of bed, it pushes you when you're tired. It won't let you rest until you become what you say you are. Because if belief is real, it must express itself through action. Otherwise, it's a lie you tell yourself to feel better. Success isn't about who believes more or who works harder. It's about who can combine the two, who can wake up every day and take action that is fueled by belief, who can move like it's already done, who can speak like they've already won. That's when momentum is created. That's when things start to click. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out, but you need to believe enough to move and move enough to build proof. Because every time you act in alignment with your belief, you reinforce that belief. And every time you take action that challenges your fear, you weaken the fear. It's a cycle, a loop. Belief feeds action. Action feeds belief. That's how you evolve. If you're stuck, check your balance. Are you acting like a machine, but with no internal fire? Are you grinding, but doubting yourself every step of the way? That's why you feel empty. Or are you hyped up on motivation, full of ideas, full of one-day talk, but never doing the hard, boring, unglamorous work that success requires? That's why your life isn't changing. You're missing the link. Real growth happens when belief and action come together with purpose. And let me tell you, once you operate from that place, you become dangerous. You move differently. You speak with certainty. You show up like a person who expects to win, not someone who hopes to. You stop wasting time. You stop second guessing. You take ownership of your path. You become magnetic because people can feel the alignment between what you say, what you believe, and what you do. That's leadership. That's power. And it can't be faked. This world is full of dreamers who never do and doers who don't believe. Don't be either. Be the rare one who fuses belief and action into one relentless force. Believe like your life depends on it, and then act like you're already living that life. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for proof. You are the proof. You build belief through repetition. You build belief by showing up when no one's watching. You build belief by taking action when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, when it's uncertain. And that action creates results. Those results fuel more belief. And the cycle goes again. So if you're tired of talking, tired of feeling stuck, tired of spinning your wheels, this is the answer. Stop separating your belief from your behavior. If you believe in yourself, show it. If you don't believe yet, earn it through action, through movement, through grit. This is how greatness is built. Not by dreaming, not by grinding blindly, but by becoming the kind of person who aligns thought, belief, and action every single day. That's how you win. That's how you lead. That's how you become unstoppable. The world responds to certainty, not potential. That's a hard truth many people never understand. You can have all the potential in the world, raw talent, intelligence, creativity, ambition, but if you don't carry yourself with certainty, if you don't move, speak, and live like someone who knows exactly who they are and what they're here to do, the world won't notice. Potential is invisible until it's expressed, and it's expressed through certainty. Through the energy you bring into a room, the conviction in your voice, the way you make decisions, the way you stand firm, even when everything around you shakes. That's what the world responds to. Not maybes, not I hope, not someday. The world moves for people who say, this is who I am, this is where I'm going. Get out of my way or come along for the ride. Too many people wait for the world to validate them before they act with confidence. They think once they have results, they'll start believing. Once they're successful, they'll move with power. But that's not how it works. You don't earn certainty after the fact. You create it before anything is real. That's the whole game. Certainty is a choice. It's not arrogance and it's not fake. It's alignment. It's when your inner world is locked in and you're no longer asking for permission to be who you already know you are. You're not waiting for applause. You're not asking, am I good enough? You've already decided. And that decision radiates from everything you do. People can feel it. The world can feel it. And that's when doors start opening. Not because you begged, but because you became undeniable. Look around. How many people do you know with massive potential who never go anywhere? They have ideas. They have skills. They could have done something big, but they hesitate. They doubt. They second guess. They wait to be discovered, to be picked, to be told it's okay. And while they wait, someone else with less talent but more certainty walks right past them and takes everything they dreamed of. That's the reality. The world doesn't reward the most gifted. It rewards the most certain. Because certainty creates momentum, and momentum creates results. People follow leaders who are sure. Investors put money into businesses that are led by people who speak with conviction. Customers buy from brands that are confident in their value. You build trust by being consistent, but you attract attention through certainty. If you don't sound sure, if you don't look sure, if you don't move like you're sure, why should anyone else believe in you? They won't. And it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you don't look like you believe it yourself. And that energy repels opportunity. Certainty doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you trust yourself enough to find them. It means you don't crumble under pressure. You don't let failure redefine your identity. You don't let doubt run your life. It means you show up with intention. You speak clearly. You move decisively. You know your value and you don't shrink it to make others comfortable. When you carry that kind of certainty, people listen differently. They remember you. They talk about you when you're not in the room. They watch you because they can feel there's something about you that's rare. That's influence. That's presence. That's leadership. And here's what most people miss. Certainty isn't something you either have or don't. It's something you build. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build certainty. Every time you show up when it's hard, when you don't feel like it, when fear is screaming in your ear and you do it anyway, you strengthen your core. Certainty grows from repetition, from integrity, from pushing through discomfort. It's not gifted to you. It's earned in the trenches, in silence, in the early mornings and late nights when no one is clapping for you. That's where your power is built. People who move with certainty are dangerous, not because they never fail, but because failure doesn't shake them. They don't need guarantees. They don't seek constant reassurance. They are the reassurance. They walk into the unknown with their head high because they've already made the decision to win, no matter how long it takes. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck. It's not about luck. It's not even about timing. It's about energy. Are you moving like someone who's already made up their mind? You could be the most talented person in the world, but if you walk into a room looking unsure, speaking softly, second-guessing your worth, people will overlook you. Not because they're cruel, but because you're sending the signal that you don't believe in yourself, and no one will ever believe in you more than you do. That's the rule. That's why your internal certainty is everything. It sets the tone for how the world treats you. How you treat yourself becomes how others treat you. How you speak to yourself becomes how others speak about you. It all starts inside. Potential is a spark, but certainty is the flame. And only the flame can light the way. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for proof. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Decide who you are, decide what you want, and walk like it already belongs to you. That energy is rare, and rare energy gets noticed. Rare energy shifts rooms. Rare energy wins. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more talent. You need to own the value that's already inside you and act like it. Because if you won't bet on yourself, why should anyone else? The world doesn't care how much you could do someday. It cares about what you're doing now and how certain you are that it matters. Potential is silent, but certainty speaks. Make sure the world hears you. Your belief is a weapon. Use it or be destroyed by doubt. That's not poetry. That's survival. In this life, you are in a constant war between two forces inside you, belief and doubt, and only one will win. Belief is not some feel-good mindset. It's not a quote you repost on social media. It's not positive thinking. It's the sharpest tool you have in a world designed to break you down, confuse you, distract you, and make you forget who the hell you are. Your belief is what slices through fear, through insecurity, through the noise of the world telling you to sit down and stay quiet. But if you don't learn to hold that weapon with confidence, if you don't sharpen it through pain, experience, and relentless discipline, then doubt will win. And doubt doesn't just weaken you, it destroys you slowly, quietly. It creeps in and makes you question your worth, your path, your ability. And eventually, it convinces you to stop trying. Belief is the only thing standing between you and regret. Because without belief, you won't take the shot. You won't apply for the opportunity. You won't start the business, hit the gym, make the call, speak the truth. You'll overthink. You'll delay. You'll shrink yourself to fit into spaces you were born to dominate. And the tragedy is, it won't be life that stops you. It won't be failure. It won't even be other people. It will be you, your hesitation, your inner voice whispering, what if I'm not good enough? That voice is not truth. That voice is doubt, and doubt is the assassin of destiny. But belief, real belief, isn't loud. It's not cocky. It's quiet, consistent, and undeniable. It shows up when everything goes wrong. It speaks when no one else is cheering. It's the fire that burns inside you when you're tired, when you're hurting, when you're alone, and yet something inside you says, keep going. That's belief. It's the armor you wear into battle. It's what allows you to face rejection and keep moving. It's what separates the average from the elite. Not talent, not luck, but the depth of belief they carry into every action. Because the world doesn't break the strongest, it breaks the weakest in belief. Understand this. Everyone doubts themselves at some point. That's human, but not everyone surrenders to it. That's where the line is drawn. Doubt will knock on your door every day, especially when you're building something that matters. But belief is your answer. Belief says, I hear you, but I'm doing it anyway. Belief says, I might fail, but I won't quit. Belief says, even if I lose, I'll rise again. That's what makes it a weapon. It doesn't remove the fear, it overpowers it. People who win don't always have the best strategy or the best resources. What they have is conviction. They move with authority. They speak with power, not because they've been guaranteed success, but because they've made an internal decision that nothing will stop them. That decision is what shapes their reality. It attracts the right people. It demands respect. It builds momentum. When you walk into a room with belief, people feel it. They may not understand it, but they feel it. And that feeling creates opportunity. That energy opens doors. Because belief is magnetic. Doubt repels, belief attracts. And here's the most important part. Belief isn't just about you. When you believe in yourself, you give others permission to believe in themselves. Your courage gives others courage. Your example becomes the reason someone else doesn't quit. But if you let doubt rule you, then you become part of the noise, the background of fear and mediocrity that keeps people stuck. Your life becomes a warning instead of an inspiration. That's the cost of surrendering your weapon. That's the price of choosing doubt over belief. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need permission. You don't need every detail worked out. You need belief. Because belief creates action, and action creates evidence. And with enough evidence, you build certainty. That certainty becomes your edge, and that edge becomes your advantage. It becomes the reason you walk differently, speak differently, move differently. Not because you're better, but because you know you were built for this. You're going to get hit. You're going to fail. You're going to be laughed at, doubted, criticized. So what? That's the price of building anything great. But when you're armed with belief, none of it can stop you. It might slow you down. It might hurt, but it won't end you. Doubt, on the other hand, doesn't need a reason. It will kill your dreams quietly in your sleep. It will whisper excuses into your ear until you stop trying. It will convince you that playing small is safer, that hiding is smarter. And before you know it, you'll wake up 10 years later wondering where your life went. So you have a choice to make right now. Are you going to carry your belief like a weapon? Are you going to sharpen it every day through discipline, through consistency, through truth? Or are you going to lay it down and let doubt take over? Because both voices are fighting for you. Both want to define your life, and whichever one you feed more will win.